Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a video where I kind of break down, older YouTubers versus younger YouTubers, finding the right content, finding the right creators, things to consider, things to avoid. This is the third time I filmed this video, so I wrote some notes because I felt like the last time I filmed it was a little bit jumbled. So hopefully I can stick to the bullet points. It'll make sense, be concise. Before we get started, please take a moment, hit that subscribe button down below. You don't want to miss out on new videos. I post 1, 2, sometimes 3 times a week or more, at least once a week. So you don't want to miss out. I appreciate all new subscribers. I love all of you guys. I've met some wonderful people. So yeah, hit that subscribe button. Make sure your notification bell is on. And we're going to get into it. So yes, I filmed this once. Couldn't get the video to upload, so I got mad and deleted it. Decided to refilm it, and I feel like I did not make sense at all. So we're going to try this, hopefully third time's a charm. So I did make bullet points, notes. We're going to stick to points, so that hopefully it makes sense. So the first point is older versus younger. Now, not to say that you can't watch people that are not in your age bracket, because that's not true. You can watch people on YouTube, doesn't matter what age you are. But I think when it comes to looking for content, you need to keep that in mind. So like for me, I do watch makeup review videos. So if there's an 18-year-old that's recommending a concealer, I have to consider what product she's recommending, because me being 34, that concealer may not work for me. And not to say that it won't, because like I hate the e.l.f. camo concealer for under my eyes because it creases, but like Emily Noel loves it. She uses it. She's the same age I am. So, but I do keep that in mind, because I did run into issues in the past where I was buying products that these 20-somethings were recommending and getting super frustrated. And I think, my age, my skin changing, and it could just be my skin changing, not necessarily my age, but I had to take into consideration, okay, these people are 19 and 20 and I'm not 19 and 20. Is that why the product doesn't work? I mean, sometimes I think it is. And like I said, my skin has changed. I went from combination to now I'm dry. I don't like full coverage foundation anymore, and a lot of younger people really push the full coverage, and that's just a personal preference thing. But for me, like, it settles, it emphasizes texture, makes it look like I have wrinkles. So I've stopped watching a lot of people that like those kinds of products, just because I know I don't, and then it's a waste of time. So I think that depending on what content you're searching for, that does need to be taken into consideration. Like I said, especially with skincare, because somebody that's 19 that's using skincare isn't necessarily using the same products that somebody that's my age or in their 40s is going to need, because of where we are in our lives. So that does need to be taken into consideration. The second point would be honest reviews. I've stopped watching a lot of big channels because I started questioning whether or not they were recommending products because they liked them or because they were being paid to recommend them, like Morphe. Not to say that Morphe is bad, but certain channels, it's Morphe, 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 Morphe. Now it's like, do you really like those products? Like, do you really use that stuff when you're not filming, or is it because you have an affiliate link? And when you have to start questioning that or worrying about that, then their credibility kind of goes out the window. So for a lot of product reviews, like, I do watch larger channels, like Emily Noel has 1 million subscribers. She doesn't do paid sponsorships at all. She does get PR in the mail, but she doesn't do paid sponsorships. I do watch Kathleen Lights, but I don't watch every single review she does, because she's, like with ColourPop, I don't really watch her ColourPop reviews, because she's going to sing praises for ColourPop all day, every day, because of the collabs that she does. Now, has she come out and said she doesn't like some products? Yes, she has. But I don't think she's as harsh towards the brand as somebody that's not affiliated with them, if that makes sense. Just to use those as examples. So I really have sought out smaller channels for reviews because I know they're buying that stuff themselves. And if they're not, they're so small that, I know the brand is not offering them buku bucks to talk about it. So I feel like I'm getting more genuine, honest opinions because, I'm looking at it because I'm potentially wanting to buy something. So like I'm spending money. So I don't want to waste money because I did run into that a few years ago where I was buying products that certain people were recommending and I was like, this isn't good. And then, you start to weed through all the big YouTuber reviews and then you start to find, genuine reviews. And not to say that every product's going to be good or every product's going to be good for everyone, but when it's happening over and over and over and over, you start to question. So definitely, I think smaller channels have kind of found a niche recently because I'm not the only person that's experienced that. I've really started trying to find channels that have people with similar product tastes, also similar skin tones. Not to say that I only watch people that look like that are white, but like Emily Noel is a similar skin tone. So like when she talks about the concealer shade and the foundation shade, it helps me because we are similar skin tones. It gives me a good jumping off point if I want to go buy it and I'm ordering online, because some brands have awesome shade ranges and then you're like, is this going to be too light? Am I looking too dark? So like Emily Noel, Jen Loves Reviews is another one. They're both my age and similar skin tone. So if they're like, well, I'm using the concealer in this shade, it's like, oh, well, if I want to try that, it's pretty safe to buy that shade or a shade up or down from that versus looking at 30 shades and just picking one, like a shot in the dark, if that makes sense. So that's been helpful. And I will probably reference them again, but like Emily Noel doesn't do a ton of full coverage foundation. She will do some, but she does like more medium sometimes too. And I think Jen Loves Reviews is the same way. Like product taste helps too, because why are you going to watch somebody that like full coverage foundations? I don't really do the full coverage foundations anymore. And if I do, I'm picky about the ones that I buy and I just put on a thin amount and I use a sponge to share them out because I don't need the full coverage. I've stopped buying based on popular opinion. I will use the ColourPop foundation as an example because when this hit the market, everybody was excited and then everybody was doing first impressions and don't buy things based on people's first impressions. Really dig in there if you're curious about a product and watch, hardcore reviews, because this based on first impressions does look great for about 3 hours and then it starts to go south. Like this breaks up around my nose, around my chin, like T-zone area, and I'm dry. This does not like any kind of oil. And when this first hit the market, everyone was like, this is great, this is great, this is great. And then after a while, more, I think, valid reviews and then more honest reviews. People had time to use it, or people were getting off of the ColourPop wagon and really like, we're doing legitimate wear time tests. And so like there are people that do like this because they do still sell this, but this is a prime example where everybody was raving about it. And so I bought it and was like, this doesn't look cute. So I use this foundation for filming because like I said, it does look good for about 2 hours. And then by the end of the day, there is no foundation left on my nose. And that's not a good look. So I've stopped buying like new releases right when they come out if I am interested in a product, I will wait a month to kind of see what people are saying, you know, long term. Because like I said, do not buy products based on first impressions. I can't tell you how much makeup I bought based on somebody's first impression and then was like, that wasn't good. So I've really tried to stop impulse buying just because it's shiny and new. And that's helped a lot. And lastly, finding creators that I can relate to, that I like, that I enjoy watching, that I trust their opinions. Like I said, I think I mentioned I've unsubscribed to a lot of big YouTubers. Like I said, Emily Noel has 1 million subscribers, and she's probably one of the biggest. Her and Kathleen Lights. Kathleen Lights has a lot, but I've really kind of gotten away from watching some of her reviews because even her, like I said, she is affiliated with like ColourPop and will rave about every single product, even if it's not as good. And the same thing with like BoxyCharm. Like her sister worked for BoxyCharm. She's been affiliated with them for a long time. So I feel like she's a little bit biased. Not that she's meaning to. It's just like if you're friends with somebody and you like them and they do something bad, you're not going to be as critical as if it was a stranger. So I don't think it's necessarily she's meaning to. It's just, you know, your friends, this is your friend. So you're not going to be as critical and as harsh as if it was somebody that you don't know. So I think that's all it is. So really finding people that are unbiased or as unbiased as they can be and are just giving genuine, honest reviews. Because generally a lot of the content I seek out is makeup related reviews, products I'm interested in. If something doesn't work, why is it not working? Is it just because it's bad, or is it because I'm a dingbat and I don't know what I'm doing? So hopefully this helps, because I reached a point where I was wasting money because of I was buying things based on people's recommendations that I probably shouldn't have been listening to. Not to say that it was their fault, because nobody twisted my arm and made me buy anything, but when you're on the fence as to whether or not you're going to buy something and you put your trust in somebody and then you're like disappointed, like that's frustrating. And when that happens over and over and over with the same people, you get irritated after a while. So hopefully this made sense. Hopefully it's helpful, because again, I don't want people to waste money like I did, and hopefully you got something out of it. And I will try not to say hopefully anymore, but thank you guys so much for watching. I tried to put it in bullet points so that it would be a little bit more concise. So I hope that it made sense. Again, please take a moment, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, everybody.